Okay, so now we are with Ricardo Lobato, who is a Commodore years ago. Now he's past Commodore like me. Is a good expert of the rules and regulation of war sailing. And now, with the help of these slides, he can give us a brief explanation of the current Rule 42 and also an explanation about the guidelines of the Snipe class. Please, Ricardo.
Hello, Pietro. Nice to see you all. I'm my friend of the Snipe class. So, let's change the slides. What I want to explain is the rules, a bit of the evolution of the rules, what we did about the rule guidance for the Snipe class, and I brought some number for the Snipe world, so we can feel where you are about the rule compliance. So I believe I can support the decision of the class to make an action or evolve the rules, okay? So let me talk a little story about the rule for the joke. It's beginning, the first news, I started selling in 91, so that's why I have my first rule book is around 81, okay? So the rule was called Rule 54, and at that time, you you have already this structure. The structure is the same we have now. We have a basic rule. These basic rules say that you have to sail uh, with the force, with the wind. Actually, you only need this rule. This rule should be enough for our competition. But we have also some we call illegal actions, that is pumping, ouching, schooling, rocking. And these actions are forbidden even if does proper the boat, okay? These are always illegal. Even if they are very small, they are always illegal. And they have also an exception. At that time, we had the 3 pumps and the 1 oche to promote the planning. Nowadays, we are allowed just 1 pump per race. Okay, so that's and at that time it was terrible because the jury was starting to go on the water, but they stay near the mark, very far away, and if there was a protest, you are disqualified without this card and no hearing. Okay, you are completed. You finish the race, and you go to the board, notice board, and you see your cell number, and you are disqualified. At the Olympic game in Barcelona, 92, there was the introduction of the yellow flag. So you could take the turn. It was much better because you knew what was the infraction, because we were penalized at the moment of the incident. Okay, so that was a great evolution, the yellow flag. 93, the new rule book, they relaxed the rule for boards, so they allowed the pumping, so the board has no issue about the rule 2. And 97, the rule didn't change much, but they received the number we know now, the rule 42. And in the next edition of the book, in 21, we had this yellow flag appendix. So from 2001, the yellow flag became more common, and they started to really develop. At 2003, I went to World Sailing. It was called ISAF at that point.
Yeah.
I was there in Southampton, and we discussed the rule 42. We introduced a paper that required interpretation. That was a way we found at the rule committee to explain the rules better for the competitors and for the judge. And at that point, there was a lot of pressure against, the Rule 42, because, the sport was evolution, and some class like Fin and 47 started with the free pump rule. They start allowed, uh, depend on the wind, they relax the Rule 42. There is another initiative from the Soling class. They allowed the free pumping from the Spinnaker guy. So, so the the sailing world was changed for a more relaxed Rule 42. Okay, and in 2012 we did. I was there was a work group, a Rule 42 work group. I was in charge of the Star class and the Fin class paper. So I helped to build this Olympic class guidance that is exactly what we did with the Snipe class few years later. I'll explain this better in the next slide, but we try to give some guidance for judge and sailor about common typical infractions. Okay, and 2017 we have a standard rule for relax the rule for the two. It's a Oscar flag, and currently it's used for the class 420, 47 at 80 knots, fin class at 10 knots, and the star class is using at his there is a special event at 6 knots. So that's but the other classes still all the other classes still have the rule for the two with the yellow flags appendix P, like the Snipe class. In 2018, with Pietro, we did a work group at the Snipe class, and we published ourselves uh, a guidance for the Snipe class. Okay,
Okay.
so what's this guidance? We divided the race course in three pieces. We have this. We try to explain the typical infringement and help both the sailors and the competitors to explain how the rule works. We start with the starting line. At the starting line, there is a typical rocket at the start. This is not common in the Snipe class, but we found it in another class document we left there. So you can give one roll at the start. You get your rocket. So one roll is okay. If you enter and go another one, would be rocket, would be a pena. Scully at the start line, it was a bit discussed because the snipe, the rudder is small. It's very difficult to scrub, but even so, it's possible to find some at very light condition. It's possible to have some sculling. So explain the rule except so you can scull to go to to a close hard direction one time. You can go up and down, but you can use the rudder to go to one close hard direction. Explain this exception. Upwind, we explain the body pumping. That is the movement with the body in and out that produce the leech flick, and it's considered a pump rule break. And they also explain the roll tacking. Also, the roll tacking, repetitive roll tacking or strong roll tacks, not very common in the snipe. I didn't find many infraction. So, but it's there. It's there in the document. We also discussed about the shitty pumping upwind, but we decided to remove this because it was confused with the normal steering and trim the sail. And downwind, we describe the infraction of pumping. We explain the difference between pumping and trim because when you surf a wave to initiate the surf, you can pull the sheet for promote the surfing, and then you start surfing. So after that, if the boat gets speed, maybe you need also to trim the sail in again because the apparent wind will be in front of you. So we discussed, we explained a bit what's pumping, what's trim, rocking. We explain what's allowed. Uh, you can rock the boat to change the course of the boat. Or that means if you veer away, you can reel the boat to the window, and if you left, you can heel the boat to leeward. So explain this. Ocean is always forbidden, but you can go if no if you're down a wave, you can move your body forward, but you can't go forward and stop abruptly. Okay, so we try to explain the rules in this document. I'm missing. I promised Pietro to do a video.
Yes, yes, it is a good idea, I think, because
Yes, I really like the videos. I really like this tool. I use a lot. Uh, this would be the next step. And I would like to bring you some number from the sniper world because, in my opinion, compared to the other classes, I don't believe you have a really issue on this matter. If you go to a laser championship, in another class championship, the problem is bigger. Okay, so of course the jury and the sailor can make mistakes. Okay, we can give wrong flags, uh, or we can miss. Now the jury can miss. People can be break the rule and they may decide not to give the flags. But the rule picture, I think the rule complies of the snipe charge is okay. I don't see many problems. And
but
then you
you,
show them.
Blue,
Yeah.
I have a question. Looking at this number, do you think that, for example, at the last war, it was enough, the number of judges on the water? And also the other question is, in your opinion, they took all the infringement, or you guess that maybe they fail to took a number of infringement and give a yellow flag in a huge number of cases?
As I said, you Pietro, I was in the jury. We received the both practices. Some sailor complained about these few flags that maybe were too tough, especially with the body pump up to wind. We received some complaints about. We received one complaint about rock and downwind. So there are some sailors that think that the jury was too hard, and I believe that I agree with you that the coverage maybe uh, is not completely perfect. Maybe some sailor can take advantage of a missing jury. We try really hard to position well. At the end, we change our position. We stay more on the final reach, where we found a lot of infractions. But
Yes, because Blue,
I think it was pretty reasonable. Reasonable. Was
yeah.
pretty
I
okay.
agree with you. The judges did a great job, but maybe it is difficult to check 70 boats on the water, because I remember some complainings from some teams regarding a video of a boat that was going downwind with some watching, and when they realized that the camera was close to them, they stopped. But for me, means that maybe it was only the one case in all the championship. But maybe we should try to find a technique or something to enforce the rule on the water, practically speaking.
I saw that video. I saw.
I don't want to say the names.
No,
uh,
but
but
it is
it is. I think
because
it is part of the game now. Like in football, the referee can find a penalty or not. It is the same of in sailing. It's part of the game. But
I want to explain you that we stay a lot with these front guys. You know,
yeah,
the top tanks were well covered. Okay,
yeah,
so it was a bit surprised, but it's possible. Okay, but of course there are 70 boats. Maybe we can find some top guys on the back also because
yeah.
now they can do a bad start and can have a problem. But usually in an event like that, we had in Abela two boats. Two boats maybe could be it's not that bad, but three should be equal okay number. And but even with three or four boats, we can still miss some infringement. That can happen, you know. But uh, or I can explain that we are not, you know, we are moving, and when move, we are not find a lot of infringement during this championship. That's the general fleet will give you just 10 flags for the whole event, and there are some class that you give 10 flags in one day. You know, it's very easy.
Yeah, it's totally different. Yes, I agree with you. The snipe class, usually, especially at the top levels, are very good for these numbers. Maybe the top guys are very skilled in finding the limit and judging the limit where they can arrive before get the yellow flag.
But I will give some opinion. I think the system is working for the snipe class. Of course, there is room for improvement. You know, we can maybe bring more more experienced judges on the fleet, do more events, explain the rules for the sailors. But I don't think that because we can't manage the fleet, we can't penalize all the infringement. Let's give out of the rules and let everybody pump. I think in my opinion, that's my opinion. I think
Yeah,
that's it.
I think Blue. We can talk about the pros and cons with with the other guests.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
and yeah, good. So you have other slides, or that is
No,
the
that's all. So the
okay?
conclusion is that you know the the rules. It's the rule 42, the propulsion rule is relaxed in our
Yeah,
classes. Okay, but I'm not sure if the right decision because you know other classes change the race course, change and we still the snipe class still a classic, you know, sailing tactical boat, and I believe that we still have a so that's my information that I brought. I did a research on the race rules. I did a research on the problems that you can in the class, the most common problem that I believe you can work on it. And I brought some numbers so people can understand where you are about the rule infringement and you know make a plan, take a decision what to do next.
okay.
Thank you, Pietro.
Thank you, Blue. Super.